Hi, I'm Nick Bolton, the founder of ICCS. Now, one of the questions we get asked quite a lot is what to look for in a potential supervisor. And it's a great question, especially as coaching supervision becomes more widely recognised and more coaches are offering it. How do you know who to trust and whether the supervision they provide will be effective and ethical? So let me share a few things. First things first, coaching supervision, like coaching itself, isn't a regulated profession. That means technically anyone can call themselves a supervisor. And it's very tempting, I think, for someone with a little bit of coaching experience behind them to feel they can supervise less experienced coaches. And I've seen this happen. It often comes from a place of enthusiasm and a genuine desire to help other coaches. And I really get it, but it's not without problems. Just because someone's coached for a little while doesn't mean they suddenly know how to supervise. They might offer useful support or ideas, but without the proper framing, it's easy to blur boundaries, miss ethical red flags, or lean too heavily into giving advice rather than fostering reflection. The bottom line is it's very unlikely that they're actually supervising. Supervising is a specific professional discipline. It has its own models, its own ethics, its own responsibilities, and it goes far beyond being simply an experienced coach or a coach for a coach. So what should a coaching supervisor have by way of credentials or preparation? Well, let's start out with one of the most important ones, which is formal training in coaching supervision. A professional coaching supervisor should have completed a comprehensive supervision training program, one that's accredited by recognised bodies like the EMCC or the Association for Coaching or the Institute of Leadership and Management. This training really matters, not as a formality, but because it teaches coaches how to supervise. Without proper training, it's very easy to drift into coaching the coach or simply mentoring the coach, and neither of these are supervision. So the next thing to look for is the depth of coaching experience. A good supervisor should have a strong track record as a coach, usually at least 5 years of practice, ideally with some form of accreditation like ICF PCC or EMCC Senior Practitioner. But more than the credential, it's about the maturity of practice. You want a supervisor who understands the lived experience of being a coach, with all the messiness that can bring. Now, next up, there's the question of supervision-specific accreditation. This is optional, but increasingly valued. EMCC offers ESIA status, which recognises individual supervisors who meet a high standard. The Association for Coaching also accredits supervisors directly. Now, these designations aren't essential, but they're a really useful sign that someone's gone through a process of demonstrating their competence and also taking this new profession they've entered seriously. Now, having said all that, qualifications and credentials are only a part of it. You also want to choose a supervisor you genuinely connect with, someone you feel safe with, but also stretched by. Someone who understands your context, your challenges, the kind of work you do, and the environment you're working in. Supervision is a relational space, first and foremost. It's not just about supervision models and ethics and competencies. It's about the quality of thinking and reflection you can access together. So don't just look at someone's qualifications. Talk to them. See if there's resonance, because ultimately, this is someone who's going to be walking alongside you in your development. So it's worth finding the right fit. So to wrap up, if you're a coach looking for a supervisor, don't be shy to ask questions. Ask about their background. Where did they train? What credentials do they have? Have they worked with a range of coaches? See how the connection feels. These things really matter. And if you're a coach thinking about becoming a supervisor, then I'd encourage you to take it seriously. Train in supervision, learn the craft, build your presence and ethical depth. It's a really powerful role and deserves to be done well. In the end, credentials are only part of the picture, but they're an important part. They show a commitment to doing the work properly. And in a profession built on trust, that really does matter. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.